just the one map that we, just one game that we casted on this map. But man, was it an aggressive game, and there was a lot of cool strategies flying around. Especially, we saw the teams really prioritizing that vision. So of course, the Gara was picked up pretty quickly. Tassadar was. I don't recall if we saw a scouting drone, but that is something that we should keep in mind. While
they had oracles and creep tumors.
Yeah, the creep tumors as well. So, and they took all of the creep tumor upgrades, the extra range, and the health regeneration. So they knew that they had to be playing a little bit of passivity, I guess, in the early game. So we'll see. We'll pay attention to whichever team gets ETC. They may end up going scouting drone. We'll
Victory for the Forsaken.
So Goat Gaming right now with the Sylvanas pick in their pocket. That was their first pick. But, you know, as I said, this is the first pick round, perhaps not the first pick per match. It is Jaina. Jaina into the Valo once more. And if we see the Tyrando's already banned, if we see a Zagara, it is once again the 5-lady roundup here.
Seems to be a pretty common thing. The bows are quite good. Oh, Uther. All right, is this paired with something? Do we see a more aggressive melee type hero to go with this? There's a lot of options now. We have seen Thrall run, we've seen Kerrigan run, we have seen Illidan, of course, he's banned as well. But just to keep in mind, if they want to go for a Divine Shield type of style. And it's a small map, so aggressive play might be the name of the game.
It is a small map, and aggressive play is absolutely the name of the game. We saw this before, and I'm going to say it again. Blow-up comps are real. You can almost ignore the even just tank ability on this one. If you can successfully blow someone up, then it's going to be in your favor, and you are going to be 100% rewarded for it, because you are then taking out gems of your opponent's pools, you're collecting your own, you're controlling the map, and we saw that before. Cloud9 Vortex just absolutely steamrolled in game number 1 today on this map.
That's right, and we see the Kerrigan pick up for Cloud9 Vortex and ETC on top of that.
That is scary.
So there is the potential for that scouting drone, but Kerrigan on top of Jaina. With the stuns as well from ETC, that could be a lot of damage output.
It's straight up 3 assassin comp from Vortex, and those are their first 3. They don't care what tank or healer they get. It's going to come down to the initiation on this Kerrigan. Kerrigan, the Diablo. I mean, they can't get the Uther, so it's likely to be either the Roots or the Rhaegar. But still, I mean, melees are so good on this map for initiation.
Oh my gosh, look at this. Falstad Interior once again. Okay, I was talking about the Falstad Interior composition. So Go Gaming,
blow someone
absolutely looking for that. Let's dive on this particular target. Honestly, all 3 of them, if they get stunned, they have the low HP pool between Jaina, Kerrigan, and Vala. They can eliminate any of those. Probably will be Kerrigan, I imagine. And the healer pickup, it's got to be Rhaegar, right? We'll see that.
I would guess Rhaegar. I mean, we don't really have a huge amount of AoE, so the AoE diffusion from Tranquility is not necessarily needed, but at the same time, Roots. You know, another CC, another lockdown.
That's a good point.
Figure. You might even see a Brightwing. Who knows? I mean, the Emerald Wind and the Polymorph could come out really big for, trying to neuter this combo.
That's right. Oh, a lot of potential. Oh, there it is. You called it.
Yep.
Boom.
Sometimes, the stars align. Jester knows what he's talking about.
I don't buy it. You knew it. You knew it. All right, so that will round out the composition for Go Gaming and Cloud9 Vortex. Which of these comps is going to prove out to be the better one? I think Goat is putting a lot of stock into getting to level 10 on that.
Did they actually change sides as we joined this live?
Of course they did, right? They just want to make your life difficult.
God. All right, so I might have to change around the team names, but I'm not going to do that until we're in game. These will be the drafts, no matter how we actually end them off. But yeah, we started today. We could potentially end with this one, the Tomb of the Spider Queen. It's action from the get-go. I mean, we had a kill in 30 seconds. We've actually seen really early first bloods from Goat Gaming. But again, Cloud9 Vortex, they had a Thrall last time. This time it's a Kerrigan. And Kerrigan, like Critterized, we're going to have the Emerald Winds for the splits. This could really go either way. Both sides have some really good bursts.
That's a very good point. And we always sort of like, tuck Sylvanas into the back pocket, but of course we cannot understate how impactful that silence, that AoE silence can be from a range on top of that. Like, what a crazy hero to bring into the meta. And she has been seeing her fair share of the action.
Absolutely. All right. Updating everything. I got to try to remember which victory screen to bring forth. But this is, you know, again, match point, ladies and gentlemen. If Cloud9 takes us home, $250. They're back into the majors, and they go home extremely happy because in about 5 hours, they made $250. Not a bad way to go.
Not too bad. All right. Let's get to introducing these teams on the red side. We'll start off over here on the right side of the map. That is going to be Cloud9 Vortex playing for them. We have Zixa on Brightwing. Bobby Hankill is going to be playing Jaina. Fan on Kerrigan. Syracuse is going to be playing Vala. And Taza, or as you like to be called, Taza.
Taza.
The magician's now. It's going to be TC.
Now you see him, now you don't. Stage dive, yeah. Taza, that should totally be one of my emoticons. Lex Luthor, Curse Fury, Pythix, Equinox, and Base Drop are going to make up the side of the goats. Is this the only map that loads in red side first? Now that I think about it.
That's a good point.
I think actually Blackheart's Bay loads in red side first, but it's been a while since I've seen it, so don't know. Either way, there's a lot of potential for these early game blowups. We have all of Cloud9 just sitting in this vent. It's kind of curious that a vent can hold all 5 of them, but
I know, right?
They're looking for that roam, and this is we've actually seen this strategy employed by both sides, looking for an early game. It's not, you know, the most critical of kills, but it is a statement, as we have seen repeatedly.
That's right. We do have the double scouting drone being thrown down from Brightwing, so just keeping an eye on that. Although they're probably the more aggressive composition. They can at least see when people are turning into both of those, I don't know what we want to call those, egg soul cage, that's what it's called?
It's called a what?
I clicked on it, it says soul cage. That's amusing.
All right.
We'll go with it.
Yeah, stay Livy. Okay, soul cage forevermore. Awesome. Level 1 talent says we're not really seeing a huge amount of roaming this early on. In fact, this is actually our latest first blood I think that we're going to have in this game series. We have updraft. Look at that from that Falstad.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. They want to make sure that they have the extra mobility, increase the range. They want to get out in case they see the Kerrigan dive, and they can get completely out of the way of that. Nice with the Ravage and Primal Grasp Impale combo.
There's also a lot of walls, and updraft will actually extend the chance that you can get over some of those walls, whereas the opponents probably can't follow you through. I'm curious to see if we're actually going to see other barrel rolls, because, I mean, there's one that will bring it down to 8 seconds, I think at level 7.
Yeah, it drops the cooldown, yep.
Yeah, and I think level 4, you can also get it for free. Wouldn't that be a thing? You give up a lot of offensive power, obviously, but you don't do damage when you're dead.
This is a good point as well. So I guess it will probably depend on how the aggression is going between the games. We see Fan dive in, but of course Pythix is going to be a difficult target to isolate because of the mobility, the dimensional shift, or I guess I should say the invulnerability that dimensional shift gives to dodge that combo.
Ooh, Brightwing has scouting drone.
That's right. Yeah, trying to get that extra vision of those turn-in spots. And some aggression.
Yeah. This actually might... Ooh, could that be a kill on top of Fury? That would be huge. Pythix actually comes up with the shield, though, but these towers are starting to lack a little bit of ammo, a little bit of health there as well. A big bump in experience could actually be, you know, the straw that brings us right to level 7 a little bit later on. So I wonder if that's going to be a timing that we're going to see.
That's right, and we do see a very, very slight experience lead, and I think that the gem lead is probably in Cloud9 Vortex's...
it's actually pretty much dead.
Close.
Yeah, we are having more and more turn-ins from Red, as they have 29 to turn in. It won't quite be the 50 they're looking for, but at the same time, you know, dunking down those gems as often as you can is a really great way to not lose them later on.
Yep. And we have that double Envenom grab once again. The Jaina is going to be going for more aggressive style with that. Oh, that's a lot of damage.
Oh, Equinox does not quite juke out Bobby Hankill as he did. But look at the Tassadar. He has promote.
Oh,
what was the last time you saw promote in a game?
What is that? Do they... I wonder if you can promote the minions that are spawned from the web weavers.
Target allied lane minions. Do they count as lane minions?
I think so, but I mean, we haven't played too much on this map. Yeah, I'll be paying close attention to that to see if that is the reason that we see that this talent is up.
Syracuse will get picked on a bit, but not really going to be a thing there. You should be able to promote the spiders. Not that you should, I don't think. But then again, you shouldn't promote, so who knows?
Yeah. Right, I know.
Does Pythix know something we don't, Kubi?
It's got to be. It has to be. There's got to be something about this map in particular that would give them reason to take this talent.
Zix with the scouting drone top just can see over that wall, gets a little bit extra damage there on top of Fury. We got the interrupt here on top of Tazza. Tazza does have 20 gems. He is going to be looking to turn in. He is a big target right now. Equinox once more. He's going to get ganked, but has those Banshees ready to go. The Haunting Wave will get him out of dodge. Level 7 has been achieved. We got a little bit of an advantage here.
Does this talent tier advantage mean that they won't be trying to aggress too much on? No, not at all. They're going in. They want to stop those 20 gems from being turned in on the Cloud9 Vortex side.
And there's still a lot of dancing back and forth. 13 to 30 for the turn. It's 55 to 41 being held by the teams. Once again, Zizix is doing the guard thing top, but it's actually the Tassadar kill bottom that I didn't actually catch, Kubi.
Yeah, quite. It was just a pretty standard combo being thrown and a lot of gems being dropped in the meantime. Cloud9 Vortex gets enough gems turned in, and they are going to get a Web Weaver push. We'll see if they try to focus one particular lane and try to get a lot of advantage done. And Equinox is so low. Is there going to be enough damage? The Hungering Arrow being thrown over the wall, but not going to target Equinox. They're very close to dying.
This is where you really wish it actually prioritized targets. Yeah.
I know.
So, thought. Promote minions against Web Weavers.
I don't even know if I've seen him use it yet. Does he? He has 2 charges. I'll just pay attention to this very closely. It is a very odd choice of talents, I gotta say.
Possible misclick. I don't know. It's really hard to call. We do have a little bit more of a fighting Pythix this round. Psi Infusion into Static Charge. That does lend a lot of evidence into a possible second strike later on.
Yeah, it could be. All right, so the first Web Weaver has been cleaned up in the bottom lane. I imagine we'll see a full rotation from Goat Gaming to clean up this middle lane.
Equinox playing a little bit of footsies here with Tazza. So the cleanup is pretty much there. Still about a half level between them all. Equinox is dead.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Heal. Lex Uther keeps him up. That's actually going to not be a kill, but it could be a kill on top of Uther, but no, it's not. Fury is going to come down, and both teams are just going to bounce off each other and go their separate ways. Either way, if we want to fight, this is like the chance to do it. We are so close to 10 for Cloud9.
Yeah. Cloud9's probably going to want to just try to soak as best as possible, and like you mentioned, I think this is the best chance for Goat Gaming to take a fight for the foreseeable future.
Serial turned in, and that's the Web Weavers. Could this be the Pythix strat?
We'll have to see. Pay close attention to that. All right, level 10 has been hit for Cloud9 Vortex. We see the Water Elemental. The stage dive on such a small map, very interesting choice. Emerald Wind, which might lead to a sprint pickup at level 13. And
wow, Tazza, he's going in. He saw that they're doing these bruisers and they're looking for the kill on top of Uther. Uther is going to drop. That's a heck of a lot of gems now actually dropped by the team. But the steal was not there. The bruisers are now pushing out this mid with these Web Weavers. Are those promoted? No, I don't think.
He promoted something. He's used promote charge.
The Merc leader. No, not.
Yeah, he just has 2 promoted spiders in the top lane, as far as I can see. It's interesting.
This isn't as interesting as I was hoping. Damn it, Pythix, what are you doing to us? How dare you?
Just trying to confuse us. He gets a kick out of this.
So, I mean, that was a bunch of heroics. Only the kill on top of the Uther. They didn't steal out the Bruisers, and the Bruisers pushing in with the Web Weavers didn't actually really make a dent in the mid there. In fact, Pythix is now going to drop to the strafe, and there goes the reset there from Zix as well. Uther is now actually way out of position, and there's the scouting drone. You can't hide from the scouting drone, ladies and gentlemen.
Nicely done. And yeah, Zix moving forward to get that Emerald Wind was just enough to isolate. So they are spending a lot of resources in the form of heroics, but they're getting the kills for it, and they're up 5-0 at this point.
Second red turn in.
All right, so level 10 has just now been hit for Goat Gaming. We do, of course, see that Wailing Arrow. That is the silence that is probably going to be so impactful in these team fights. The Hedgehog Blast, of course, the Judgment. The Divine Shield, very likely to keep Tyrael alive after he dives into those team fights. Still undecided for Tassadar, I have to imagine.
Actually go for wall?
That would be very crazy,
Bala
considering
can't
the rest
through
of the
Jaina
damage
can't go
output they
through
have.
it. Kerrigan can't go through it. ETC can't go through it.
No,
We don't have blink kills, so nobody can actually go through the walls.
That is true. But we are going to see that Archon. Just want to make sure they get that extra damage output.
It makes sense.
All right.
Static charge and Psi Infusion.
Oh, yeah. If you leave the Archon alone long enough, that damage can really add up.
10-12. It's still very much an early game favor here for the Cloud9. We did have Falsta just fly down. It looks like a 5-man defense is being mounted, but Taz is going to take home that top fort. That's a big chunk of experience on the way of Cloud9. If they get another big chunk, that could be a 13-10 fight. That is not where the GOATs want to be.
Go Gaming really needs to look to make an initiation soon. It's just they can't ignore ETC pushing and taking these forts in the top and mid lane. And as soon as he sees the initiation in the right time, he's going to go in with the stage dive. Equinox has the Divine Shield thrown down, and the silence is going to hit a couple members of the target. But Curse Fury gets isolated with the Emerald Wind and the strafe going off, dealing that extra damage. The Passar is going to fall as well. Jeez, that was quick.
Mythix is dying a lot more than usual. We don't have a Maelstrom, though. You can see that the lost Ultralisk is just going to burrow himself away. It wasn't exactly huge in that fight, but it's not a Maelstrom.
Well, there are certainly targets that they can throw the Ultralisk on to try to zone those heroes out of the fight. Usually what the application is going to be for that. Although...
Falstad or the Sylvanas.
Yeah. I think you can justify taking either of those heroics at this point.
Yep.
But with the Brightwing and Emerald Wind, didn't take Sprint.
Nope, took Ice Block.
That's an odd one. Okay. Interesting choices. I would have expected the Sprint to get the positioning for Emerald Wind.
Well, at the same time, if you Ice Block, typically you get surrounded, right?
That's true.
Could be a defensive Ice Block into a defensive Emerald Wind for a turn and burn, but we'll have to see if that actually comes to fruition or not. So far, it's 7 kills nil. So Ice Block feels very overly defensive. Actually, you know, Brightwing is basically playing base model Brightwing. She has 4 activatables right now.
That's a good point. We see throwing up that scouting drone, is well aware of the fact that Go Gaming is trying to turn in the gems. I don't think they have quite enough here. It's close to get themselves another set of web weavers to push down. They do need to catch up in the structure damage. Fan diving in. Is it going to be enough? No, misses the combo.
It was a good prediction, though, from Fury. I mean, he went one way, through the sword the other. We see similar mechanics come out from the Sylvanas. You throw the Haunting Wave one way, and you duck the other. Dip, dive, duck, and dodge. But, you know, somebody actually in the chat said we're going to see Possession to go with this promote. That's just not the case. In fact, Living is not the case.
Oh my gosh, and the Hinterland's Blast hits its mark. Going to bring this down to a 4v4 actually, but Curse Fury finds himself falling quite a bit early, and now it is a 4v3, well in the favor of Cloud9 Vortex. What are they going to do to clean this up? Equinox looks to be in a bad position, doesn't quite get the cleanse, and now that is a 4-for-1 advantage for Vortex. What is going to be the play? I have to imagine they're going to take a boss.
They're very likely to take it immediately after this turn-in, for sure.
Yep.
15-13. We see this a lot in these last few games. Not only was the GOATs very dominant over top of the Goons, and it was a very typical 16-13 situation about this time, but this is now 2 games in a row that Cloud9 has secured this same advantage, where they have that extra talent tier more or less between the 12 and 14-minute mark, which is, you know, if by all rights, probably going to lead us into an endgame scenario within the next 5 minutes, if history will hold here.
Yes, the web weavers on top of the boss being pushed thrown, and there's no way for them to get in with Fan sort of being the gatekeeper to this area. This is going to be a very difficult push to defend. They do have Sylvanas, that helps a little bit, but of course you can't disable the boss while it's pushing in, so that's something to consider.
And once more, Numbing Blast from the Jaina. They really like that root. She's one of the only heroes left with that root kind of treatment.
That's
so
true, yeah, not the 90%.
Match, could it become a 90%?
Could be.
Oh man, if he gets picked this often. But look at this Web Weaver, this Golem just going to town. Taz is in the midst of that as well. This could be a keep at the 13-minute mark. The mid has been cleaned up. They don't have a fort. Same with the bottom. It's all about this top. Taz is going to go in from behind, but a little too far forward there, Kubi.
And that strafe getting a ton of value. So many members of Go Gaming find themselves with very, very low HP. Fan with the sprint, really trying to get the aggression onto Pythix, will end up falling, and that is going to be a 2-for-0. And they still have half HP on this boss. Is this going to be the final death push?
We had Base Drop running away from an Ultralisk. He just got basically shoved right out of that one. Bobby Hank kill is really low. Same with the Sylvanas, but I'm not entirely too sure any kills are going to come out of it. The boss is doing work. Uther is down and out, and congratulations, Cloud9 Vortex. They come up right through into the finals. They did drop one game. They went 2-1 against Fraud, but they will finish off strong with a 2-0, and that will be that, ladies and gentlemen. $250 in their pocket, and I'm hoping I hit the right victory button here.
We'll find out in just a little bit. But yeah,
I did!
Yes! Nicely done, sir.
Although it says Goat Gaming.
That's okay. Just ignore that, guys. It's
Damn.
Nice, though. Okay. Well, yeah, once again, congratulations, Cloud9 Vortex. Very convincing. At least the games we saw, everything looked very smooth on their end. Of course, unfortunately, we weren't able to bring you guys the other side of the semifinals. Still, though, it is Cloud9 Vortex. We've known them to have some very strong victories in the past in other events. I think that they got top 4 in the last Titan Arena as well. So no surprise to see them up at the top of this tournament. Still, though, I got to give credit to Goat Gaming, too, and fairly new team. They've recently formed, and they've been taking names as of late. Getting top 2 here, also nothing to shake a stick at.
Yeah, I mean, they are going to be inducted into the majors. They are a relatively new team, a lot of high individual experience, but all they have to do is just practice, 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 and that will hopefully blend in a bit. They're definitely heads and shoulders above some of the other teams that they have faced. But when it comes to a long-lasting brand like Cloud9 Vortex, they've been together more or less. You know, they've had a few roster changes, but their core has been pretty much the same, a few months now. So yeah, that kind of experience is really showing forward. They knew exactly what to draft, when to engage, and on what map to do it on too.
Their drafts did look very strong, and even on this new map, they've learned very well how to adapt to it. They seem to have been prioritizing it in their, especially in their map striking, and they're willing to go here. They feel confident on this map, so that's just, again, showing signs of the experience that they have. So once again, nicely done to Cloud9 Vortex.
Yep, and they will take the cake in that regard.